Hello guys, and welcome back to Power and Revolution 2020 edition with our Israeli playthrough. In the last episode, we were mainly fighting a uphill battle to try to get our popularity up and keep it there, while we're fighting through getting rid of our debt, making sure we stay out of a deficit, and just generally turning the population to our side, while we slowly tear apart certain aspects of democracy that got in our way in the first episode or so. Towards the end of the last episode, I actually went ahead and started messing with some economic stuff, and as we can see, I got the cocoa sector up and running again. So that's awesome. So if we go into here, we can see the cocoa sector is now producing stuff. Very little stuff, but it is producing stuff. I am then going to go ahead and put it down to just state involvement so that it can flourish by itself with the government as a little bit of a bailout type deal. I don't think, let me go ahead and unpause it. I don't think oh yeah, I didn't try. So I also nationalized the coal sector, and I was going to try to get it running again, but it's such a big sector or something that I noticed when I tried to hire one manpower for it, it displayed that it's going to cost $3 billion, which is more yearly positive revenue than I even have. It's weird. I get a boost when I nationalized it from state employees, and they're still happy even when I'm bumping them down from full nationalization down to something else. I don't know why that is, but I guess that's just the way it is. I've also gone ahead here and I have gotten rid of our spy network in China because I realized having a spy network in China when I don't want to fight China and I actually want them to kind of like me is probably not the best idea. If they catch my spies, that's not going to help reputation. So I took my spies out of China and I moved them to Eritrea. Put them on political espionage. I noticed that the whole time I had spies in Syria at some point and I did not have them set to anything. So they're now set to political espionage as well. I do want to, okay, international organization. So my resolutions against Iran, for whatever reason, my people really like the fact that I'm calling for resolutions against these countries. I don't know why. I've never gotten popularity boosts for doing this before. But apparently, yeah, it doesn't say anything of why I should be getting popularity boosts. I just am getting popularity boosts for successfully bringing those making nukes to the UN. That's good at least. Look at that. We're at 98% now. That's real high. That's real good. And I didn't even have to really do much of anything yet. I do want to continue getting a lot of these farming sectors online. As many as I can anyway. So we're going to fully nationalize coffee. We got cocoa, right? We might as well go for coffee next. Alright, so we're going to try to fully nationalize coffee, just one at a time so I don't piss anybody off. Nice taxes, okay? Taxes in the highway system, yeah. They have a lot of these little tutorial screens. I'm going to call them tutorial screens very loosely. They don't teach you anything except that there's something you can do. Well, that sucks. They just found the espionage cell in their territory, right as I pulled my spies out. Oh well, at least it won't happen again. That's probably from trying to do that industrial spying that we started last episode. The employers are unhappy. They're always unhappy. I remember that being a big problem when I was playing as Brazil too. The employers. It was always the employers. Ah, man. Let me see. Do they just still completely hate my guts? Yeah. Unless I lower taxes, there's like no way to make this group like you. At least not that I've seen. I might just want to go ahead and try to limit right now some of the power. It's under here, right? Employers. No. It's not under associations. Huh. Where is it under? Unions. It's under unions. Labor unions. Okay, I might just want to go ahead right now and start to limit labor unions somewhat just because... how do the people feel? They definitely don't like that because they're going to cause me problems, and it would be pretty tough to just straight up ban them. If I can get to one unique labor union, that's actually a lot better because everything I do, essentially, that is good for someone will make it happy because there's only one and it represents everybody. But getting directly to this is going to be impossible. See that big red face? That would tear my country apart. We're at 98%. I think that I can risk it. Television appearance may make people more accepting of it. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Tolerate and monitor labor unions may make them a little less likely to cause me problems. Already there's going to be a strike moving from the Magistrate Federation leader. Yeah, there's demonstrations. They really didn't like that. Human rights issues. It's okay. We're going to get... Oh my god. This is every single labor union having a strike. Good thing I at least put the TV appearance up, so maybe they will be less upsetty about it. And good thing I waited till I had so much percentage of popularity. And just like that, they're all done. The street is for everyone. Yeah, it's just a random event to tell you about women's rights. So now there's just a unified popular demonstration against that bill. Not actually a whole lot of demonstrators. And also, one of our degrees of nationalization has gone through. It's probably the cocoa one, if I had to guess. Yeah, it's the cocoa turning into a state minority shareholder. That's fine. And wow! Egypt's denouncement was completely rejected. I don't know how to feel about that. What do you want? Hanukkah? Sure, I'll appear for Hanukkah. That could help my popularity. I don't know how to feel about that, man. They're not voting yes for anything. I have proof that these fuckers have nukes. I have proof that they purchased nukes. That's illegal. That is illegal. That's so rude. Oh wait, I've infiltrated the Russian mafia since the beginning of the month? I totally forgot about that. Let's dismantle that before we get caught. It's been a few weeks. We should have a good chance of it now. The army lacks men. You know, he's right. The army really does lack men. We have not even 10% of, sorry, not even 1% of our population in the military, unless you count reservists. And that's usually, at the very least, what you want to have in there. I've just been avoiding doing it. No, I don't want to eliminate the head of state. I know they asked for more soldiers, but I'm actually just going to go ahead here and start moving some of this air power out. I'd like to get rid of another air base because we still have too many. That would also make our military expenses go down. And if they start disliking me, I'm keeping an eye on it. They like me for now. If they start disliking me, then I have a perfect opportunity to start recruiting more soldiers. Because that's what the army loves the most, when you recruit a whole bunch of soldiers. I don't know why, but just adding soldiers is their favorite thing. Probably adding salary as well. Actually adding equipment and stuff, they don't seem to care about as much. Probably because it's done in these like smaller amounts. What do we have? Oh, here come the strikes. Demonstrations and strikes. Big popularity losses. This is why I waited till it got up so far, because there's a lot of things we're going to have to do if we want to get anywhere without having to deal with this for every decision that we make. Unions especially, unions and associations, especially unions, can cause you a lot of problems. But if I can get one government-controlled union, then I can keep them happy all the time. And it doesn't infringe on their rights. It just makes their opinions less valid. So randomly I got a little hit from a strike, but also a bonus from electoral promises. I find that really funny. Also anti-terrorism, because we did a partial dismantlement of the Russian mafia, which I'm not surprised about. It's a big mafia. I don't expect it to be taken out very quickly or easily. The strikes say that they had an ambivalent success. I don't see that they had any success except in making people dislike me. There still seems to be one strike going on. I've already appeared on television. I'm not gonna fuck with this strike. I don't know. It's weird. I don't see it, but it says that it's there when I hovered over it. How is all this construction going? We're getting close to having those gas pumps up and running, which really hurt my opinion with environmentalists when I placed them down. Hopefully that doesn't end up happening again, because I made him like me by increasing the spending in like reforestation, which hopefully we will see improve this situation here. The coffee sector is up and running again. Nice. That was really, really quick. That was really, really quick. So let's go ahead and adjust that to state involvement. now that it's running. I don't want to micromanage it. I don't want to pay for the expenses of it. I just want to reap the benefits of my shares and of the taxes for it. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion. Next up, colza. Colza is a pretty important sector, in my opinion. It affects a lot of things. It can even affect fuel, as well as food and other things like that. So let's try and get that under the control of the state so we can try to restart it. The more farming things that are running, the better, because so long as they're running, they always have a chance to grow as time goes on, whether I subsidize them or not. If they're completely X'd out, then that's economic growth that's just being suppressed, basically. Okay, so there was another strike, but it's done. The union's leader made an appeal for the strikers to go back to work. Animal people, CO2, recent trends are disturbing. We are in compliance with international objectives. What do you mean our trends are disturbing? I know we've had a little increase. So CO2 emissions in tons per inhabitant is going down. Our emissions as a whole is actually going up. We are getting more inhabitants. But overall, we're not that bad. Per inhabitant, we're worse off than the world average. Not as bad as Qatar. Emissions as a whole, we're nothing. We're insignificant. Tiny. What's this? Slight reduction in numbers in people in extreme poverty. That's good. That's always good, right? So far, we're not completely dying. There's another demonstration. This one's from Animal Friends and Protectors. She doesn't even hate me. She's just having a demonstration just so I pay attention. Our protection of the fauna is almost maxed out. What on earth do you want me to do differently? Well, the law on the freedom of association has finally gone fully through. We've gotten one more massive human rights hit, and we have 3 riots to deal with. One by the National Banks Union, one by the National Chemical Industry Union, and one by the National Building, Housing, and Roadway Construction Union. The sooner I can get this to one big unified union, the better. You will be amazed. Actually, you won't, because you've already seen it in my past 2 playthroughs, probably. But of how easy it is to control the happiness of your people and avoid these kinds of riots and strikes and demonstrations when they're all unified and you do more things to just make some of them happy than upset. It becomes so much easier to deal with. Because if you just upset one group, that group will make your life a living hell. It has been this way since GPS 2 Rulers of Nations. Anyway, so a little update. I did get proof that Saudi Arabia is also purchasing nukes, so I brought that to the UN, even though every time I bring something to the UN, the answer is always no. Just because I was hoping it would give me a little popularity boost whenever it got accepted. I don't actually know if I got that boost because, well, the strikes, as you see, have been actually non-stop. They haven't stopped. They're not going away. They're repeatedly protesting in order to get freedom of the labor unions again. Whereas it may go away eventually. I have been kind of micromanaging here, fighting tooth and nail to try to get past this sooner rather than later before I get fucking kicked out of office. And in order to do that, I did go ahead and I did set the unions to just go to under state control right now, immediately, while the striking is still happening anyway. I don't know when it's going to end. I'm just going to rush getting to that final point, because the only way you get a huge negative effect is if you do like 2 steps at one time. I already did 1 step, so the game has automatically adjusted the opinions to get ready for the next step. Basically, that's why you do like getting rid of the power of Congress in steps. Otherwise, you're going to get, put out of office. Well, that's what's happening now. As you see, I just went down to 36% popularity. So that's the kind of shit that I'm trying to fix here. I was waiting for a massive ass drop like this because I had 2 things under my belt that I was getting ready to do in order to fix this a little easily. Number 1, I'm going to go and I'm going to set rent to be capped. We got a nice boost when I did index linked rent increases. Rent capped is like a bigger version of this. So it will hurt the housing industry, but the people should love it because it will improve their purchasing power. It will make their living conditions easier. And I don't care about the status of the housing, building, any of that. I can make that thrive later. This is cheap. It will give me a lot of popularity, I think. It will help me survive while I get everyone into one big national labor union. That way I can make my people love me no matter what, and hopefully put an end to a lot of the striking and protesting that comes with a democracy. That's my hope anyway. Maybe I'll just die and this playthrough will turn out to be shorter than Sabout's. I don't know. Let's find out. So that's step one. Step number two, and this is kind of ironic, or not what you'd expect. Well, I guess that is irony. I'm going to authorize use of referendums on the national... Okay, we have a number bug. This is a number bug. Ignore this. But I'm going to authorize use of referendums on the national level. Now, that's a big thing for democracies. However, just because you authorize it doesn't mean you have to use it. But this is a way to get some happiness with my people. And there's really nothing negative, kind of. Underneath, there's a little negative things that could happen when I'm trying to get rid of powers, but overall, this isn't going to negatively affect me very much. So I'm going to use it to try to gain some more popularity and keep myself out of death. Wish me luck. Okay, so a little checkup. We've just passed into the new year. It shows I have a budget excess, which is so interesting because I actually sent us into a budget deficit just before the yearly change, as I've been trying my best, increasing spending here and there in order to fight this lack of popularity. I was just figuring I'd fix it later by raising the tax on company turnover once there's no unions or anything that would oppose it. So it's good that we're in an excess again, at least for now. Gave me a big public finances boost at the very least. The lowest I've seen this get so far is 12%, so I have had to increase spending quite a bit in order to deal with it. There's still a strike going on. I don't want to deal with that. Liberation of the highways. I've been being spammed by this kind of stuff, by these notifications. Happiness increases. Okay. We did find out that the Iranians are financing, we found this out, we just got proof about it. They are financing the Russian mafia. And I think in our country, I actually didn't pay a lot of attention to it. Operating was, can I review that? I closed it earlier. We had a good amount of growth. Our GDP has increased. We have some new unhealthy housing that we have to deal with. But where was that notification about Iran? I don't think it's anywhere. I think it's gone. Oh, no, here it is, right here. Secretly financed, yes, Russian mafia terrorists which attack Israel. Yes, Iran is funding these terrorists that we are dealing with. And in fact, I think Iran has made their numbers swell. They must have funded them a lot, because I remember this number being in the 40,000s, not almost 60,000. Maybe that's just a yearly change. That being said, this a little over 2 billion cash surplus probably paid off some of our debt, which probably lowered the debt reimbursement, which is probably what has helped our situation. The growth calculation may have had something to do with it, maybe the inflation calculation as well. Either way, the new stats as things stand right now are 2.91% growth, 3.75% unemployment, 1.11% inflation. Very, very healthy economy in my opinion. And these gas wells are soon to finish, which hopefully will not end up causing me any more problems. And yeah, we still have a little ways to go because I don't think this is done yet. Where was that again? The unions. Yeah, no, it's not done yet. Oh no, now it's done. Now it's done. So we just got another human rights hit. But the law on freedom of association, but these aren't associations, these are associations, and they are completely free, and they are fine, they are happy. Sadly, you can't just make one association, that's not a thing. But now the unions are gone, there is one union, it's the Israeli Unions Alliance, it's all the unions in one. This guy's brand new, he doesn't feel anything about me just yet, but it should be pretty easy to make him happy. And then hopefully all the strikes and everything should be done because there will be no one to organize it except the associations. But the unions should be the biggest part of our problem. The law on rent increases. How shit. has gone through, and now our people are happier. And looks like a lot of these ex-union members, ex-unions, have decided to become terrorist organizations. Wow, they really hated me. They really, really hated me. Their numbers are small, tiny, insignificant. In fact, it should be relatively easy to actually get rid of them. They may be forming their own little terrorist organizations, but they're weak. They're nothing. I should be able to infiltrate all of them. They should be defenseless. Can I have a little cheaty peek at their defenses? 1 power. Wow. 1 impact. No preparedness. But there is a national popularity. So we're going to want to get in there and try to dismantle them sooner rather than later. It should basically be like a 1 successful infiltration in order to get rid of all of them. It snaps me to the top every time. This is fun. This is a fun process. This is what a lot of the gameplay comes down to in these kinds of games, by the way. The more realistic of like a war game or a strategy game that you get, the more just navigating unintuitive UI and flicking around menus you have to do. And that's why a lot of it gets cut out. Did that one just say Jewish? Religion Jewish. Yeah, okay. Well, they're all very weak, so I hope I can get rid of them sooner rather than later. The coming fall of the empire. What empire? I'm not an empire. Technically, I am still a democracy. A parliamentary democracy. Just like, I believe, the United Kingdom? I believe. There's a lot of these to click through, so, yeah. So my Minister for Health is under trial, so now I need a new one because he doesn't get his position anymore because he's in prison. That's great. So we have some new economic data in. The growth has gone down, the projection, to 2.54%. Unemployment's up to 3.93%. Inflation's got up another 0.01%. Everything is fine for now. We are starting to finish our long line of natural gas pumps over here, basically. This one has a lot, basically the amount of tonnage that I would expect from a gas well on week. Like this oil well's on average, and it produced almost nothing compared to what I predicted that it would in my head. If we go to natural gas, I doubt we see an increase just yet. It's probably a little too early for that. We have all sorts of terrorist threats. The terrorists do not like the fact that we are trying to get a referendum capability. They don't like that we're becoming more democratic or whatever. They're just going to threaten everything. They're terrorists. They're just unhappy. They're just going to try to kill us in any and every way that they can. But any dips in our growth should, if they don't get made up by themselves, easily start to be made up by all these gas wells that are going to be finishing here in the next day. Literally all of them the next day. And then we'll see how that affects our natural gas, as this is the most that I can really optimally place in our single region of Israel. And hopefully it's enough to get us in the positive for at least one sector. There may be some sectors where we're positive, but our economy is so tiny, I expect that we are not going to be positive in many of them. But hey, one would be better than none. We have a meeting with the leader of Benin, who asked to meet with me off camera just a moment ago. He wants to sell us cotton. He produces cotton for a much cheaper price than we do. We do produce some, not nearly enough, and he wants to sell us a good portion of the consumption that we need. And he doesn't consume barely any. Look at that. So he can definitely make a good profit by coming to us. But if you're going to sell to me, you're going to give me a much better deal than that, sir. We will either both benefit or neither of us will benefit. So let's send that to him. Okay. So let's try 1650. All right, he's coming down. Let's try 1750. Hopefully he agrees to this. All right, cool. 1750. Offer. Yeah, where the hell is Benin? Where is this? You don't seem to love me, so you're not going to agree to anything. Yeah, no, but you do like me. You do like me. So we have some of whatever the hell I just bought from him at a cheaper price, so that's good. Growth has gone up a teeny tiny amount so far. I don't think that was calculated after the gas pumps were made, but if they were, if it was, then at the very least we know it's not going to completely destroy our everything. Wow, look at this. These ones have far less production in them than these two. I don't think that's necessarily about the position they were placed in, but maybe it's just stronger down here. Either way, the weak extends through all of there, so I'm just going to leave that as it stands, because either way, it probably wouldn't amount to very much more. Got a nice popularity boost, a happiness for human rights, now that I've allowed referendums. So that's cool. That should make people happier. And this rating should be better. Human rights are garbage because I've gotten rid of so many, but at least we have something providing a boost there. Unemployment was happy before the year change and the new unemployment update, but look at the environment, man. We're actually really good in the environment. And yet that one guy was freaking out in my ear about the environment. We're doing very good in health. Women's rights, this is annoying to deal with. Purchasing power could still be improved. Apparently the development since the start of the game is still poor. Might just be because of a lot of the employment, but still better compared to most countries. National wealth has barely changed since the start of the game, but it should be getting better. It's a lot better than most other countries, apparently, so that's good at least. I don't usually check that too often, but I figured I might. Look at this. Look at even this guy's telling me about the CO2 emissions. What do I care about that? Informer in Saudi Arabia. Someone getting murdered. That's...
The current political orientation somewhat annoy. From report 12 by
what?
Scientific, the different services.
You want to get placed in a different agency? Oh, he doesn't like me. He doesn't like me. Maybe if I give him more funding. He could use more funding. Some more agent training and fight against terrorism. Because I really need those to be up there. Maybe political? Oh, that's expensive. Okay, maybe just those two. That would definitely help me weed out all these terrorists once, you know, the agents get trained and it's all updated. Let's try to infiltrate again. And it should make him like me. Oh, he loves me now. Oh my god, he went from less than 50 to, oh my god, 100. Wow, that was easy. I just had to give him 4 stars more funding. Maybe I didn't even need to give him that much. Either way, these upgrades here will improve our chances with dealing with these terrorists. And looks like a lot of my agents actually just got murdered, so that's fun. That's what all those pop-ups on the left are. That's all agents getting murdered. So let's replace all the agents that got murdered. Okay, and we have 2 infiltrated as of 1/21/21. That's a great date. So by around the end of the month, we should go ahead and fix that. And he loves me now. Dead, dead, dead. Sadly, all of them are dead. Nothing else. Okay.
One of my men succeeded.
I'm guessing more of them are dying. Alright, cool, yeah. Oh my god, this is so much to deal with. Why did I try to do all of these at once? Why did I try to do all of these at once? Oh my god, no. No. This was a mistake. So I've taken care of most of that nonsense. We have definitely acquired an economic update here. Our growth has jumped, fucking leaped up to 3.76% after the weekly economic calculation after all these gas pumps finished. That is a great, much better growth rate, which will definitely help us. Our unemployment has shrunk down to 3.36%, and it will probably continue to go in that direction now that we have all this new economic activity. Let's go take a look at natural gas. You can see our production has leaped up. Leaped. Look at that. Our consumption has not changed. Our trade balance is still not looking better, but maybe over time we'll see that improve now that our production is so much higher. I'm hoping that it goes into the positive. I'm hoping. Well, right now, literally every single one of these terrorist groups, one by one, are popping up, saying that they're threatening the country with violence, basically. That's what's happening right now. we've gotten, oh my god, we've gotten so far in establishing a monopoly on popularity and getting everything the way we want it to in the country in such a short period of time, these couple episodes. I know I've said that last episode, but we've also had some very interesting results because of how we are rushing this, essentially. Very interesting results here. But we have a nice full episode, so I'm going to end this on this very chaotic note. Hopefully, by the end of the next episode, we can get all, or maybe most, at least, of those organizations taken out of existence. I can only hope. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.